Good evening, guys. It's your boy Vex. Welcome back to the channel. We are back with the Super Formulas. We are here this week with round 2 at the Temple of Speed, otherwise known as Monza. So we had dramas in the first week. We had Toten taking the win, followed by Lasco, then Dan Bailey in third place. But Lasco, unfortunately, got a penalty for using 2 sets of the same compound, which promoted Dan Bailey to second place. Lasco is now joint third with Mawson. Can Toten take the win again? Will Danny Bailey live up to his current form? Will Mawson manage to create a gap to Lasco? And will Lasco make up for the points he lost last week? Let's find out. So as we look at the grid, we've got Brian Moncani. He's sat on pole. We've got Toten in second place. Dan Bailey's in third. We've got Petrol Junkie in fourth place. Blue Blazers there in fifth. Vex has managed to make it home in sixth. Wayne G's there in seventh. We've got Palmer is in eighth. Smokey Thomas in ninth. HRT Lacko 10th. Hodgie is in 11th. Mawson is 12th. Asbo 13th. Graham Ali, he's in 14th. And then we've got Smurf in 15th. So nearly a full grid this week. I'm not sure why we didn't get a full grid. We could have had one of the stand-ins racing for us. I think everybody was supposed to be turning up. But anyway, without further ado, should we get into it? I think we need to get into it, don't we? Lights go out, they are off. It looked like Brian getting a little bit of a... Didn't look like he got the start he wanted to. Toten managing to pull ahead. I think he's taking the lead. He's going to have the lead into Retafilio. They come up to the first chicane, so it's all getting a little bit congested. Oh, it looked like Vex had to stamp on the brakes there. I think he tagged Dan Bailey slightly in the rear and a couple of other people tagging him slightly as well. I think it was just a bit of a concertina there. So we have got Toten. He's starting to try and make a getaway in that Jaguar. Brian is right on the back of him now in the Mercedes. I think we had someone go deep into that second chicane there. So Brian, he's currently there in second place. Danny Bailey, he's in third place. Lacko, he's managed to make his way all the way through to fourth place. So Lacko started off a bit further down the grid, didn't he? He's had a pretty good start. Blue Blazer, he's still there in fifth. Vexed is sixth. Wayne G's there in 7th. He's really been hounded by Hodgie though in 8th. Hodgie trying to look for a way past him, but I don't think he's going to get it done along here. He's actually pulled alongside, so Hodgie looking for the move. No, I think he's backed out into the centre S's, so Wayne G's going to carry on in 7th position for the moment. Hodgie's there in 8th. Smokey Tom, he was one of the guys that couldn't make it for the first week, but he had his name down, so he is here this week. Palmer being another guy who... I think he was on holiday, so we obviously had 2 stand-ins of Sam and Pickle last week. I'm sure we will see him again throughout the series. We've also got another reserve driver in the way of Ice Chand. Now we all love to see Ice Chand on track. Asbo, he's there in 10th. Mawson in 11th. Mawson now starting to be challenged by Petrol Junkie. Petrol Junkie must have had a really bad start there, but... he's got the inside here. Mawson's got the inside for the second part of the chicane, so I think he's going to pull away ahead, and he is. So Mawson managing to retain that 11th position for the minute. Petrol Junkie, he's going to have to sit behind him in slipstream for another lap. He may have an attempt up to this second chicane though. I'll go on board and have a quick look. So yeah, the gap's still quite even throughout the pack. There's somebody off there, somebody off. Oh, Petrol's had a moment. Oh, he almost hit Blue Blazer there as well. I think it was Blue Blazer who was off. Palmer's managed to go through. He's gone past Petrol, so Petrol dropping down to 12th. Graham's there in 13th. He's actually in the Golf livery, isn't he? I made a mistake last week. I said he was McLaren livery, but that is definitely a Golf. So Smurf with a slight penalty there. He's in 14 for the moment, but he's got a nice little gap, hasn't he, to Blue Blazer, so... But it does look like Blue Blazer, he might catch up to him as he's had to serve that penalty. He's catching him, isn't he? You can see him there now. He was quite a way behind before. We're going back on board with the race leaders. So Toten, he's still currently here in first place. He's trying to create a bit of a gap now to Brian Moncani. Brian is thoroughly sticking with him though. Brian Moncani was another one of our drivers who was supposed to be with us last week, but unfortunately didn't set an alarm. He had a bit of a nap and didn't manage to make his flight. But he is here this week. That Mercedes is looking strong, isn't it? Obviously they are all in the same machinery here, either Toyota or Honda, Super Formula. But being an F1 replica series, everyone is running F1 libraries from the 90s to current. And Lacko's there in third place. Well, it looks like Vex has made up a couple of positions now. He's up to fourth place. There's a bit of lag going on there from Lacko. There's not really anything we can do about that. So Vex actually taking the fastest lap there of 1:31.010. I think Wayne G's probably going to take it off him, although he hasn't done that lap. So Vex looking like he's on a bit of a charge at the moment. Hang on, Brian Moncani, he's managed to get past. He's got past Toten. We missed that. I'm not sure if Toten had a slight error or maybe Brian just managed to get a solid move done. They were on the same compound of tyre. Oh, Vex has actually moved up to third place now. So Brian, he's actually created a bit of a gap now to Toten. Toten's definitely going to be trying to chase him down. But we have got Vex. Vex has moved up to third place. So he's looking like he's on a bit of a charge through this early stages of this second race. Second round of the season. Another 6 to go after this. I know there's talks in the works of maybe doing another season 2 of the Super Formulas, or possibly even upgrading, well I say upgrading, moving on to F1 2022. Vex taking a really shallow line there, trying to make the most of trying to get away from that wind. Obviously the wind is blowing across the track from right to the left, so in theory if he drives as close to that wall as he can get away from that wind resistance. This is currently our stats. We've got Brian Moncani followed by Toten, followed by Vex. Wayne G's moved up to fourth place, and Wayne G's also on a charge as well. He's on the medium tyres, so looking like he's making them work at the moment. Lacko, he's dropped to fifth. So Lacko, I think he had a moment, didn't he, through that second chicane. He's just come through there, getting through there nicely that time. Smoky Tom. Smoky Tom, he's up to sixth place. Hodgie's there in seventh. Being chased out by Asbo. Asbo's in eighth. He's having a good drive at the moment, is Asbo. He's got Palmer all over the back of him though. He's going to be throwing them defensive shapes quite soon, I would imagine. So it's looking like all is well in the world of Super Formulas at the moment, as we're slowly approaching the 10-minute mark, just past the 7.5-minute mark. Not had too many. Oh, it's Graham in the background there. Like Graham nearly lost the rear. He's managed to keep it going. He's going to have lost a bit of that momentum though. Petrol's going to take that 12th position away from him, is he? 11th even. And he has. He's moved through quite easily. Blue Blazer trying to get through as well. Graham covering off that inside. Oh, he's gone a little bit deep. That's going to give Blue Blazer the advantage. I think he's come alongside. I think he's going to get past him. And he has. Blue Blazer managing to move through. He's taking that 12th position away from Graham. Graham dropping down to 13th now. We'll just stay on board with these as they come down to the first chicane. Everyone getting through unscathed, it seems. Oh, Blue Blazer, big twitch there for Blue Blazer. Graham nearly going into the back of him. Some great driving there by them lads. Danny Bailey! Danny Bailey is crucially right at the back of the pack, it seems. I'm not sure what happened. I think he might have had a moment on them hards. But he's dropped all the way to the back now. We'll have to see if his strategy comes into play later on in the race. Smurf, still in 15th, but he's not really making any headway, is he? He needs to try and get onto the back of the pack. I'm sure he's going to be trying his utmost to. Not really used a lot of that overtake, so he's still got some of that to use. He could potentially undertake some of them when they go in for the pit if he manages to save them tyres. Looking a tiny bit out of shape at the moment. Now is Smurf. Back on board with Brian. He's got quite a comfortable lead now as Brian. Can't even see Toten now, so all he's got to do is try and keep it consistent. And there is Toten. Toten still being chased down by Vexed and Wayne G. We've seen how good Toten is at running these cars on dead tyres, so it'll be interesting to see how long he runs the tyres for during this race. We saw he managed to make it to the pits with his rear tyres were completely red, so that he'd completely used all of the tread available to him. It looks like he may have made a slight error there. I think that's going to give Vex the momentum to get on the back of him. Vex is starting to catch him up. He's going to be able to put him under some pressure. Go on board and have a look. So Vex, yeah, it does look like he's seen his moment. It looks like he's gaining on Toten. He's going to manage to keep it nice and consistent. He's definitely catching up to him now, isn't he? He has got Wayne G with him as well, but he's definitely in the slip of Toten now as they come through Parabolica for the 7th time. Looks like Vexter's used quite a lot of that overtake though. I think he's trying to use it to get the maximum top speed out of the car down the straight, closing right up to Toten into turn 1. As it comes through the chicane, he has closed it up to within, I'd say that was 0.3 of a second. He's definitely got the run now. Oh, Toten covering it off. He closed the door on him and then moved out wide. Vexter having nowhere to go. He's had to back off slightly. He's having a look down the inside here. Not quite close enough to go for that move. Definitely putting Toten under some pressure now though, isn't he, Vexed? What has he got? Is he going to be able to get past him? Has he got the momentum to get past Toten, take that second position away? Or would he make an error? So everyone's seemingly running 130s at the moment. Brian McCartney with the fastest lap of 1:30.051. Oh, Vex, he's made a move, he's had a moment, oh no, he's spun it! He's into the barrier! Oh, that's going to cost him, so Wayne G has moved through to 3rd place. Vex trying to rejoin the track. Oh, Palmer's come round, he's nearly collected Palmer as well, that's unlucky. That's unlucky, Vex dropping down the order now, so Wayne G, he's moved through to 3rd place. Toten's not under any pressure now, is he? That was unlucky there for Vex. He was looking like he was quite powerful. He had the momentum on Toten and he was looking for that move, but one slight error. Palmer's moved through to 4th place. He almost collected Palmer though, didn't he? I think that was great situational awareness from Palmer as well, although I'm sure that Vex probably would have been putting out on the comms that he was trying to rejoin the track and obviously the position he was, so I think that gave Palmer a heads up and that was how they didn't have a catastrophic pile-up. But yeah, Palmer's looking strong at the moment. So he had the first week out, didn't he? He was on holiday in Canada, I think. Or was it somewhere else in the States? It may have been somewhere else in the States. It looked very snowy though. Looked quite cold. But he's back now and he's on form. So Palmer's currently in 4th place. Lacko, he's still in 5th. Had a really good start, didn't he, Lacko? But He's not really made any headway, but he might be trying to save them tyres. Perhaps he's gone into tyre management mode. And fuel, it would seem. Hodgie's moved up to 6th place, so great race so far for Hodgie. And I will say, Hodge, if you want to put a handbridge transport decal on that car, you may do so. Lacko! Oh, Hodgie, he almost collected Lacko there. He was lucky to spot him and managed to move around him. But Lacko, he looked like he must have had a moment coming out of Parabolica and lighting them tyres up. We just saw a massive plume of smoke. Mawson's going to manage to move through as well, so Mawson moving up to 6th place. He has got Lacko all over the back of him still though. Mawson, he's on the hards. We'll go back on board with a race leader very soon. So Lacko dropping to 7th place. Petrol Junkie, he's an 8th. He's being put under pressure now by Vex though, who's dropped down to 9th, but he's looking to make up some of them positions. We look like Petrol Junkie a little bit out of shape into the entrance of that second chicane. Has Vex got to run on him here? Oh, Vex having another moment. Oh, that's unlucky. Asbo's moved through. Looks like Blue Blazer having a moment in the background as well. So Petrol, he's still in 8th. Asbo's moved through to 9th. Graham, he's moved up to 10th. Blue Blazer, he's gone through to 11th, and Vex dropping down to 12th place. So that was another error there from Vex. Maybe he used too much of them tyres on the opening laps. Smoky Tom's here in 13th. He is on the mediums though, so obviously opting to save the softs for a later stint as Vex peels off into the pits, so he is the first of our pitters. Pitter patter, that's lap 11 as Tom starts lap 12. Dan Bailey's going to move through as well. So Dan Bailey moving through to 13th, Vex dropping all the way to 14th. I think Smurf might actually get through as well. Here comes Smurf. Bit of a wide line for Parabolica, but he's favouring track position as well, so he is going to take Vex. Smurf moving up into 14th. I think Vex is going to come out not far behind him. Still currently in the pits. Oh no, here he comes. There he is. He's entering the track now. So Vex in 15th. And we've got Brian. Brian still on a charge in 1st place. He's trying to make up for lost time is Brian. He's actually got the fastest lap currently of a 1:29.9. If he manages to keep that, that'll be an extra point for him. So it'd be a great result for him, wouldn't it, if he managed to finish in 1st place after missing the first round. Still got quite a handsome gap now, hasn't he, to Toten, who's in 2nd. It does look good, doesn't it, that Mercedes livery on the Super Formulas. Look like Brian just using the minimum amount of overtake he can just to try and get the maximum speed out of that Super Formula. Obviously, this is a format that I have devised myself. The cars are running 639 brake horsepower at 660 kilograms, and the PP limit is set to 976. So tuning is open, but there is obviously a balance. You need to find the balance to be able to fit within the PP. And these guys doing their utmost at the moment. Some of them seemingly looking a lot more comfortable than some of the others, but everybody having a great race so far. has been quite an enjoyable series, hasn't it, lads, you know? Next round being into Lagos. I think we're going to possibly see a lot more 2 stops at Interlagos. I think it'll be a lot higher on the tyre wear, so possibly a lot more people opting to run all 3 compounds as opposed to 2. Although I'm sure we'll see the likes of Brian Moncani and Toten again bringing their tyre management skills into full effect. Same as Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey, another one, and Mawson, also very good on the tyre wear, at saving their tyres. So Toten's currently in 2nd place still. Brian's quite a way down the road now though, isn't he? So it'd be interesting to see if Toten pits when Brian does, or if he goes for track position and goes for that overcut. I'm not sure. We may see Brian come into the pits now. Is he coming in though? He's staying out, so Brian's staying out for another lap. As Toten comes around Parabolica. Down the Rettifilio straight. Wayne G not too far behind him now though, is he? Wayne G moving up to 3rd place. Wayne G picking up some decent points in the 1st round. Looking quite comfortable at the moment. Palmer still currently in 4th place. He's making them tyres work as well, isn't he? He's doing very well on them softs. Trying to use them to his utmost. Oh, it looks like Smurf actually starting to get a lap now. Mawson, he's in 5th place. He's got Lacko on the back of him. Lasco, I keep saying Lacko, but it is actually Lasco. We have cleared that up, and I probably should remember it by now, but my English mind is telling me it's Lacko. Apologies, Lasco. And we see the blue flags are out, so Gary Smith, he is getting blue flag now. I don't think he's quite close enough, though, to be under any pressure at the moment from Mawson. I don't think he's going to have to get out of the way just yet. Oh, it's Mawson. No, Lacko going down the inside of Mawson. So Lacko getting a move done on Mawson. Brian, he's dived into the pits. Brian's going to get rid of them softs. So Mawson, Lasco actually diving into the pits there as well. So Mawson, he lost that position to Lasco, but now he's retaken it. He's on the hards, obviously, so staying out. He's going to get onto the back of Smurf soon. But he might be able to use the advantage of that toe. On Asbo, looks like Asbo diving into the pits then as well. Oh, it looks like Mawson having a bit of a moment there. Mawson slightly into the barrier. He's still going though. He's picked up a tiny bit of damage. Mawson, he's going to get that pass done on Smurf moving over to let him through. So Mawson, he's moved up to 4th place. We got Palmer, he's been promoted to 3rd. Wayne G, he's been promoted to 2nd. Excuse me. Brian Moncani, he's there in 5th. Mawson's going to take Palmer though as Palmer goes into the pits. Graham, he's moved up to 6th place. actually gone into the pits as well. So Dan Bailey's going to come through. Dan Bailey's currently 7th. Smokey Tom is 8th. Asbo is 9th. Petrol Junkie 10th. Lacko 12th. No, Lacko 11th. Vex is 12th. Hodgie 13th. The Blue Blazer 14th. And Smurf is in 15th. So Toten's taking that lead. But look at his tyres. He's doing it again, isn't he? I wonder how long he'll be able to make these tyres last. Wayne G's dived into the pits. He's currently on the medium, so he shall be swapping for another compounded tyre. Looked like Toten getting past Graham there, but it was a little bit awkward sort of through that first turn, but I think Graham was aware. Oh, Mawson, oh, massive smoke from Mawson's tyres there. He's absolutely smoking up that rear tyre. He must have had a moment there. He's moved through to second place though. He is going to be pitting soon. I think he'll be pitting on the next lap. We can see his fuel is very low now. Wayne G coming out on the softs. Brian McCarney, he's in third place on the mediums. There's Wayne G, he's taking on the soft compound of rubber there. So I imagine he'll be running them to the end of the race. Oh, Wayne G nearly going into the back of the back marker of Smurf there. That was really close. Smurf looking like he was a little bit on the back foot. He got a bit caught out there, I think, by the pace of Wayne G through that last turn. Here's Smokey Tom. Smokey Tom, he's still currently on the mediums. He's in 5th place. Very low fuel now though is Tom. I'm sure he'll be pitting at the end of this lap. He comes through Lesmo 1, he looks quite nice there, doesn't he? Through Lesmo 2, all good. And Mawson, he's gone into the pits now, so Smokey, is he going to manage to get past Mawson? I think he might do. No, he's coming into the pits as well though, isn't he? Because he's got to refuel that car. So he's going to stay there in 5th position for a minute. Brian Moncani, he's still in 1st place. He's been chased down by Wayne G now though. Wayne G in 2nd place. He's going to manage to get a move done. They come into like the first hard braking zone, or no, I would say that was the first chicane, wouldn't it? It would be the first hard brake, the second hard braking zone. Coming into Lesmo 1. Wayne G still all over the back of Brian Moncani. They're coming through Lesmo 2 now. Is he going to have the superior momentum coming out of it? Looking like Brian's still got a bit of that overtake. He's managed to stay ahead for just a minute. He is trying to make the most of it as well. Wayne G still with him though. Wayne G, crucially, he has used all of his overtake, so he's going to have to get past Brian just using pure power. Try and take the line advantage. Brian McCartney, he's looking quite strong though, isn't he? And managing to keep Wayne G behind him at the moment. Right, let's go on board with Brian for just a second so we can see what... Oh, it's Wayne G, looks like he's got to run. Almost going into the back of him there. I think he's come alongside. Yeah, he's managed to get that pass done. So that was a good move there. That was a good move from Wayne G. I think Brian, he thought better of it. I think he knows that Wayne G is probably on the superior compound, so I'm not wanting to squabble with him too much because he doesn't want to lose too much time. He has still got a little bit of overtake though, so he might be able to get back past him once them softs start to wear. Brian McCartney still currently with the fastest lap of 129.933, but it does look like Wayne G, he's on a bit of a charge now, isn't he? He's taking on that softer compound of rubber and he's putting it through its paces. He's going to take the fastest lap. And he does. So Wayne G, he's managed to steal that fastest lap of 129.7. Sure, as the race goes on, the lads will start to get into the 28s. We did see that in practice, and I think in qualifying as well. I think Brian McCartney managed to put it on pole with a 128 point something. He's still currently here in second place. He's not being challenged by anyone at the moment. He's got a nice gap now to Toten. Here's Toten, who has also got quite a nice gap to Palmer. Palmer's in fourth place. Great drive so far from Palmer. Palmer, he's currently in fourth place. Vexed has managed to make it back up into the top 5. After that early error, he was in third place, wasn't he? He was chasing Toten down, trying to put him under some pressure. Then he made a mistake and spun the car, ended up in the barrier, and a little bit of a messy rejoin. He didn't actually take Palmer out, but it was a close one, wasn't it? I think Palmer was quite aware there, and he managed to take evasive action, but yeah, Vexed. I don't think he meant to become an obstruction in any way. I think he was just trying to rejoin the track and wasn't aware of quite how close Palmer was. Molson. Molson's on charge now, isn't he? He's on the mediums. Not too far behind Vexed. I think Vexed is going to be starting to worry now because he has been on the mediums for a few laps, hasn't he? We're now on lap 20. And Molson, he was right down the back of the pack, wasn't he? But he's managed to find his way up to 6th position currently. Lasco, here he is. He's trying to make up for lost points last week. Obviously, he had that tyre breach, didn't he? He was running 2 sets of mediums, which is a big no-no. You're allowed 1 set of each tyre. So you can use a set of mediums, a set of softs, a set of hards, or intermediates and wets, obviously, if it's a wet race. Obviously, the only other rule is that the compound that you use for qualifying is the compound that you have to start on. And that will obviously be classed as 1 set. Graham, he's currently in 8th. Not having to worry about Dan Bailey at the moment, though, is he? Dan Bailey's nowhere to be seen. So Graham, he's having a bit of a good drive at the moment, isn't he? I think he's enjoying himself. I think he's just having a bit of a race of his own at the moment. He's trying to get onto the back of Lasco, and I think you can see him up ahead of him, so he's not doing too badly, is he? Is Graham. Dan Bailey, he's on that softer compound now, isn't he? He's on the mediums. He was on the hards for the first stint. We did see his pace was lacking slightly, but it does look like he is on a charge now on the mediums. Very nice there through these centre S's. On the run up to Parabolica now. We will have to go on board a front runner soon, because it does look like Toten has started to catch Brian Moncani. So there's Dan Bailey, he's in 9th place. Hodgie's in 10th. So he's a little bit further up the field, wasn't he, towards the start of the race, but he's on that softer compound, I think, now. Or was he on softs to begin with? I can't quite remember. Yeah, on the mediums now, he's got quite a lot of overtake, so he's got that to make use of as well. Yeah, Hodgie having a decent race at the moment, isn't he? In 10th place. Asbo, he's in 11th. just past the 35-minute mark. Well, just slowly approaching the 35-minute mark. So another 15 minutes of this race. Smoky Tom's chasing Asbo down. He got really close there on the braking. I was going to possibly a little bit of contact, but Smoky Tom was very good on the brakes there. Smoky now on the softer compound, or he is on the softs. Obviously Asbo on the medium, so Smoky should potentially have the pace advantage. He's still got some of that overtake left as well. Asbo has got some as well, but a lot less than what Smoky's got. Smoky closing right up to Asbo again. Oh, he looked like he might have had a spin like Vex did through the centre S's, but he managed to keep it. He is looking quite strong on the soft, though, isn't he, Smoky? So I do think he is sizing a move up on Asbo. I think come the next lap or two, I think it may appear the opportunity for a pass. Very good on the brakes there from Tom. Closing up to Asbo again. Asbo seems to start creeping away from him, but closing right up through the chicane. A blue blazer. He's currently in 13th place. He's being blue flagged, but he's not actually becoming an obstruction at the moment. But we have got Petrol Junkie. Wayne G is starting to bear down on the back of Petrol Junkie in 14th place. Petrol Junkie trying to chase down Blue Blazer. As we've got Smurf. Smurf has dived into the pits. Petrol Junkie moving over for Wayne G there. He's going to try and make the most of that slipstream. So Wayne G trying to make his way past the back markers now. He's managed to get past Blue Blazer. Blue Blazer moving over to the inside there, letting him through. It's looking like he's got a nice gap now to Brian Carney, who's still currently in 2nd place. There he is, just coming around Parabolica now. Their mediums are looking a lot better than the softs at this point, aren't they? So Brian McCartney, he's still got a gap, hasn't he, to Toten, but Toten is starting to creep on to the back of him slowly. I did say I thought the gap had closed on the track map on the top right there, and it definitely has, hasn't it? Toten is, he's not far away from that slip now. But crucially, he's not going to be fighting with that dirty air just yet either, so... which is all good. I know a lot of the lads, they were mentioning the dirty air. I think that may have been what Vex said caught him a foul. Palmer still here in 4th place. So he's looking like he's on for a top 5 at the moment, is Palmer. Having a great race, isn't he? Vexed, he's still currently in 5th. Oh, it sounded like Molson. Yeah, Molson, he's stopped on the chicane. He's trying to get that car turned round. Massive plumes of smoke again, massive smoke screen there. Looks like these cars are starting to catch everyone out a little bit tonight. Oh, it's Vex with a huge moment. Sparks flying. You may have damaged the floor of that car. Let's hope not, because that will definitely give Mawson the advantage. He's managed to get quite a handsome lead now over Mawson, but he's been using mediums for a lot longer as well, hasn't he? I think they're at least 5 laps older than Mawson's. Or maybe even more, potentially more, because Mawson was, as we saw, running the hards in the first stint. So yeah, Vex still currently in 5th. He's trying to chase Palmer down. He was starting to be pressured by Mawson, but Mawson, he's currently only at the first chicane, so dropping quite a little bit off the back of him. Oh, it's Lasco. Lasco goes deep. He's gone onto the gravel, but he's managed to save it. That was a good save there from Lasco. All too easy to spin the car around once you hit the gravel or just get stopped dead. But he did well there, didn't he? I think crucially only dipping his right hand wheels onto the gravel. Oh, it's Wayne G. Wayne G's pitted again. It's Wayne G. He's dived into the pits. Oh, he is out of fuel. So Brian Mancani's moved through the first place. I don't know why Blue Blazer's racing him. Blue Blazer, you're a back marker, buddy. You need to be getting out of the way. Toten's passed him as well. I mean, obviously. Oh, and crucially, Wayne G's come out on the second set of softs. Wayne G, come on, brother. That's going to be a penalty, unfortunately, for Wayne G. That happened to Lasco, didn't it, in the first round? He took on that 2 sets of mediums and ended up with that 5-point penalty. So, Wayne G, that's unlucky, brother, but that is going to end up, that's going to slap you with a 5-point penalty. Which is unlucky because you're having a beautiful race so far. But Brian Mancani's in first place, but crucially, it looks like Toten is starting to catch up to him. Toten's not far off the back of him now. Toten has got quite a lot of that overtake left as well. He's got over half. Brian has got less than quarter. I think the race is on now for first place. With only 8 minutes left of this race. Obviously, we are the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by Hambridge Transport and Upshift.co.uk. Our Toten closing right up onto Brian Mancani through the first chicane. Brian Mancani getting a better run out. Through Curva Grande. Toten's trying to keep it with him. I don't think he's going to be close enough to go for that move on the second chicane. Brian Mancani covering it off early though. Great defensive driving here by Brian Mancani. They are both on mediums now, but Brian, he did pit earlier, didn't he, than Toten. Toten, obviously, as we've seen, he can run them tyres. Well, it looks like he can run them for a lot longer than everyone else, and it looks like he's really starting to catch up to Brian again. I think he was using the advantage of that overtake that he's still got left there, so look like Brian having a tiny bit of a lock up out of that last turn. Is Toten, he's got to run on him. He's going to come alongside. He's managed to pass him quite easily, did Toten there. So Toten taking up first place. He's still got some of that overtake left. I don't think he was using it there. Getting a little bit out of breath here as well. This is a good race though here, isn't it? That was a good move there from Toten. Is Brian going to be able to keep with him? Toten trying to pull away with the advantage of that overtake. He's trying to maximise the top speed of that Super Formula. Like Brian, nicely late on the brakes there. He managed to close up again to Toten, so he's managed to null some of that gap that Toten built. So it looks like Toten's actually starting to come up to another back marker here. Smurfy again, Brian Mancani's managed to close back up to him. He's going to be in our slipstream now. Has come through the first Lesmo. Through Lesmo 2. Yeah, Smurfy. Looks like he's moved over, hasn't it, to let them guys through. Brian Carney, he's actually moved over to try and use some of that slipstream. He's trying to get a double slip. Looks like Toto might have managed to get away. There's Lasco's in the pit, so possibly having a splash and dash. So yeah, Toto, he's got to have a couple of second lead now over Brian Carney, who's in second place. So Smurf, he's trying to make the most of that slipstream, and don't think he's going to get on the rest of the pack now, but you never know. And Wayne G currently in third. He's also got the fastest lap of 129.295. Actually putting in the best first sector there as well. So maybe he's on for another fastest lap. He's going to have to try and get all the points he can, can't he? As he's going to be taking that 5 point penalty. I keep going to say 5 second. 5 point penalty, which is unlucky, but rules are rules, buddy, unfortunately. Wayne G, he's now got up to Blue Blazer. He's going to be using that slipstream. I think Blue Blazer's going to be having to move over soon. He is getting blue flagged. Oh, he takes a really deep line through there. So yeah, maybe moving over there, letting Wayne G through. He's taking that inside line. He's moved back over. Blue Blazer has to use the advantage of that slip. Let's hope he doesn't try racing Wayne G into turn one, because if they end up having to come in together, that would not be good. I think he's just trying to use the advantage of Wayne G's toe now to try and get onto the back of Petrol Junkie. Petrol Junkie moving over. He's moved back over onto the racing line. I think he will be getting out of the way of Wayne G soon. He will be seeing them blue flags, I'm sure. As Wayne G's going to take the inside here. Managing to get through quite easily. Smurf, nowhere really for him to get out of the way there at the moment. He's moved over to the inside there though, letting Wayne G through. Great etiquette there from Smurf. Palmer, crucially, Palmer's still in 4th place. Having a brilliant race is Palmer. Go on, Palmer. First week in and he's up there, isn't he? He's in the top 5, so I'm sure he's going to be grinning from ear to ear. Molson's in 5th place. As we are coming up to the final stage of this race, obviously a 50-minute endurance. Just past the 48-minute marker now. Dan Bailey's moved up to 6th place. We've seen how good he's been on strategy so far, and it's paid off dividends for him tonight, hasn't it? Or it's paid dividends, should I say. Does seem to have worked again. Obviously, we saw him in 3rd place last week, but I think he's going to get some decent points again here tonight. Vex in 7th. Looking like Vex is low fuel. I think he might have to splash and dash. Smoky Tommy's in 8th. Looking like, I think Hodgie just managed to get past Graham in the background there. Lasco's gone through as well, so Graham dropping to 11th place. Hodgie, he's moved up to 9th. Lasco, he's in 10th. He's trying to challenge Hodgie for that 9th place, but Hodgie's still looking good for it at the moment, isn't he? Graham, he was having a great race, but he's found himself with a whole second's worth of penalty, so that's going to hurt him a little bit. Currently 11th though, and Got a nice gap to the other guys, hasn't he? Petrol and Blue Blazer only just coming through the centre S's now. Petrol in 12th, Blue Blazer 13th. Asbo, he's there in 14th. He had a great race to start off with, didn't he? But I'm not sure what happened. He's dropped down the order. He's currently in 14th. Perhaps not very comfortable on them hards. Oh, this is the final lap now. Smurf managing to get through to do another lap. So this is Toten. This is your race leader. He's got Brian all over the back of him. No, looks like Brian's on a charge now. Is Brian going to manage to get past him? I'm not sure. I think this is going to be it. This is going to be the race up to the start-finish line. We've already got some finishers. So we've got Palmer. He's finished in 4th place. Mawson's in 5th. Wayne G, he's quite a way off the back of Brian and Toten, isn't he? So we've got on board with Brian. He was right there, wasn't he? It looks like he may have had a moment. He's dropped off the back of Toten now. He's got a couple of second gap. Toten, though, he's getting held up by traffic, it looks like. We can see the blue flags are out. Who is that? I'm not sure. I think there was a couple of guys run out of fuel. Looks like Vex run out of fuel. So this is it. This is going to be Toten. He's your race winner. Winner of round 2. Brian McCartney finishing in 2nd place. That's a great finish there for Brian. Wayne G. Wayne G is going to finish in 3rd, but crucially, he's got picked up that 5-point penalty. Palmer's finished in 4th place. That's a great result there for Palmer. He's going to be happy with that. Molson, top 5 for Molson. I'm sure he'd be happy with that as well. He started so far to the back, didn't he? Dan Bailey having a great race as well. He's finished in 6th. Smokey Tom, 7th. Lasco, 8th. Gramad Ali, 9th. Hodgie, 10th. Vexed, 11th. So losing that place to Hodgie and Graham there at the end. Petrol Junkie, 12th. Asbo, 13th. Blue Blazer, 14th. And Smurf rounding up the pack in 15th. Well, that was round 2, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one, and I will see you for the next round. I've been your boy Vex. Good night.